So here we are at the Donaghadee Parish Church Hall Motorbike Show. There's an absolutely glorious 504 Honda, or sorry, 1100cc Honda, as you can see. Go ahead, go ahead. I think this is a new bike for 2025. Sorry about the shaky hand. And there's the 750 Honda 4. That's the K, I think that's the K2 version. And there's a Suzuki Mac GSXR 600. Andy McAllister, plumbing and heating. Here, this is Jarno Saarinen. Anybody remember Jarno Saarinen racing against Renzo Pasolini? Well, that's his Benelli. And there's an Excelsior Manxman, which, as you can see, is a single-cylinder motorcycle. Excelsior Manxman 1937 500cc. And here we have a Douglas B29. The year is 1929 and the owner is Clooney. Absolutely glorious. And there's a Canove, which is a single cylinder. The year of this motorcycle is 1910 and it's 500cc, and I think it has a side valve engine in it. You can see the petrol tank at the top. The gear stick is actually on top of the petrol tank, and the oil reservoir is at the front, and it's chain driven. And there's a Scott Super Squirrel 1927. Scott brought out the original water-cooled two-stroke engine, which Yamaha and a lot of other manufacturers actually used, and it's absolutely glorious. And this is a Precision 500cc motorcycle made in 1913. It actually has, I think, the gearbox, if I'm not mistaken, at the rear hub of the machine, and it has pedals, which mean to say that it can be propelled by your legs. And this is the brown, which is 1905. Very, very nice. You can see the oil pump it's actually a pressure valve on the side of the tank, and that's used to increase the oil pressure inside the engine. And you can also see it has girder forks, which are well, they're still used by some motorcycle manufacturers. And here we have an OK Supreme 250cc 1937. This bike was used extensively in the Scottish 6-day trials, and again it has girder forks on it. It has a high lift exhaust pipe and a separate exhaust, or a separate gearbox. And here we have the BSA Bantam. BSA Bantams were very, very popular in the 1950s and in the 1960s, and they actually have a class in England where they race the BSA Bantams, and that's the original colour that the Bantam was produced. And this is a Bultaco 350 single cylinder trials bike. You can see that it has what's called Seriana forks in the front and twin shocks on the back. And this is a 250 Oza, which is again a two-stroke engine with twin shocks at the back, but you can see the shock absorbers at the back are actually upside down. The springs are at the bottom rather than being at the top. And there's a Velocet 500cc Venom 1960. Venoms were a very iconic motorcycle manufactured in the UK. So that's really nice. This motorcycle is a 250 Bultaco. Bultacos are a Spanish-made motorcycle, and they primarily make trials bikes. And here we come to a BSE. This is the BSE C15, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the C15, which was manufactured in 1966. And beside that we have the Triumph Tiger Cub. Tiger Cub was a very popular machine. One of the people from Northern Ireland that started off racing the Tiger Cub was Ray McCulloch, and he rode the Tiger Cub to great success. And this is a Velocet MOV 250 between 1926 from 1926. It had 29 TT wins from 1926 to 1928. So it's a lovely bike. You can see it has a saddle, it has a rigid back frame, but the springs are underneath the saddle of the motorcycle, and then it has this rather trick front suspension. And here we have a Triumph Tiger 100. Again, it's a rigid rear end on it with a spring underneath the seat. But this is probably the start of this telescopic suspension, and this bike is absolutely glorious. The motorcycle was manufactured in 1947. And this is a BSA B31 from 1958. BSA were an iconic brand in their day. Unfortunately, they brought out a BSA that comes from India, and to be honest with you, I don't think it carries a patch on this motorcycle here. And then we have a Benelli. So I'm not quite sure what that Benelli is. It's probably a 350. I think it's a little bit big for 250, but it's very nice. And then we have what will be classified as pre-1960. I think it's a Benelli Honda. They made a 175cc Honda after this, but this is the pre-Sloper or 175. 12 seconds. And then what we have is a 1971 Triton 650. This is a Triumph engine, as far as I'm aware, on a Norton feather bed frame. So it's very, very nice. And whoever the owner of this motorcycle is, has really went out of their way to look after it. Really, 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 really nice. And here we have a DKW. I think they were a German-made motorcycle, and clipped over the yoke of the forks is a pudding bowl helmet with the old goggles that people used to use. You can see that this motorcycle has an enclosed rear chain, and it has two seats on it, so it's quite capable of taking two people. And another thing is also, which is quite important, is you can see that it has what's called a forged headstock. So this motorcycle is 175cc, and it was manufactured in 1955. So here we have some of the more modern machinery. This is an RD 250cc 1981 250cc Yamaha. This is a water-cooled 250cc Yamaha. A lot of these bikes were raced in the 1960s and the 1970s. The Bible, Fireblade Ministries. And this is a Honda RS CB1100. This is a really nice looking bike. It's in pristine condition. It has Showa rear suspension, and you can see that it has an oil cooler at the front of the bike. Very, very, very nice indeed. And this is a 1999 Honda Fireblade. Fireblades were extremely iconic because they were really the first sports hyperbike or superbike. And this is the iconic Honda 6-cylinder motorcycle. I've always reckoned that this was the best motorcycle that Honda ever made. Even still today, I think it is. It's absolutely glorious. Like, what's not to love about a Honda? I had a VFR 800 Honda, and it was in exactly the same colour as this one here. This bike has only 24,896 miles, and you can see the red line starts at 9,500 RPM and it finishes at 10,500 RPM. This is a very, very nice example of the CB Honda 6. Sorry, the CBX Honda 6. And this is a Harley Davidson. Harley Davidsons are an American-made motorcycle, so they don't only live or survive and ride in America, they also ride over here. You can see it is belt-driven, which is, and it has the slope-back handlebars. And this is a Harley Davidson Road King. So again, this is very, very nice indeed. People who live in America would be aware of the Harley Davidson brand. Somebody told me that it's under some sort of threat at the minute. I don't know anything about that, but there we go. And then we have the Harley Sporty. Harley Sporty is a lovely bike too. Again, the iconic V-twin, and you can see it has a little pouch at the front, probably for putting spanners and things like that in, and it has the high rise, or what we call the chopper bars. And this is a 2020 Honda CBR 660 RR. This is actually quite similar to the motorcycle that Michael Dunlop rode at the TT in 2024. I was very privileged to go up to Armoy to watch Michael Dunlop about a month ago at Causeway Coast and Glens. And here we have the Aprilia 660 2023. Colours are quite similar to the Honda, and the sponsor must be the same, AKR Racing. But really, 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 really nice. Really nice. And this is a special that somebody has made. I honestly don't know what it is, so I couldn't give you a definitive answer on that. It just says road racer. I'm sure somebody has taken it round a road track somewhere and had a queer bit of fun on it. And then we have the Montesa. Montesas were a Spanish-made motorcycle. This is the 247 Cota, primarily designed for trials riding. And then we have the Honda NC700, which is really nice. I think this is a V-twin. I think it's a V-twin, but I'm not quite sure. But if you buy a Honda, you can't go wrong. And here we have a Honda CFR 150. These are primarily a motocross bike. Some people refer to them as scramblers, but they're actually a motocross bike. And then we have the CCM. CCM were a British motorcycle manufacturer. This is a 600cc single. So it would be classified in the UK as a big thumper. And then we have the Kawasaki ZX6R 750. Kawasaki, really strong engine in these bikes, and this one is in particularly good condition. Next we have the Honda GL 1200cc Goldwing Interstate. This bike is 1984, and I know that the Michelin Flower has a Goldwing. Well, you could certainly go anywhere in the world with this Goldwing. And this is a CB1000 F2007. This bike's for sale. Unfortunately, there's no telephone number with it, but again, Honda reliability. It even has a top box on it, and two people can ride on it. And now we're talking about some serious engineering here. This is the BMW M1000RR 2021. You can see that it has the wings on it. It probably has carbon fibre wheels on it. Whoa. So this is really a trick bit of machinery here. It doesn't even have clocks on it. So when you turn the motorcycle on, the screen lights up and gives you all the parameters of how the motorcycle works. But you know, these bikes need to be ridden with extreme caution. There's a 125C Suzuki. They're probably better known as a trail bike for going along green laning. And there's a BSA. I'm not sure what model that BSA is. It's a BSA Victor GP B44 1964. So it has knobbly tires on it, so it's probably for off-road or trials, but it's really nice. And this is a Dominator 1962. I think the Dominator was 650cc, but somebody in the comments will have to tell me what it was. But it's really gorgeous. This is a Velocette Viper 1959. Again, really nice. Now you can see that this has a different type of suspension. You can see at the back, just there, that the rear suspension can be adjusted from vertical to about 15-20 degrees. It has what's called a fishtail exhaust pipe, which is really nice, and twin leading, or is it single leading shoe front brake. So I'm just going to wrap this video up here. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe,